Well, here it comes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to 4th and Ward with me, Jack Wardlaw, my brother, Coach Wardlaw. And today we have a very special guest, good friend of mine from back in the Clemson days. He's the inside receivers coach at Ole Miss, Sawyer Jordan. How's it going, man?
Yes, sir, man. I like that.
What's
Very
up, man?
special guest. I like that.
Hotty toddy,
Oh,
right?
man.
Y'all still hotty toddy?
Hotty toddy, man.
Yeah.
Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy, gosh almighty. You know, I
Yes,
had
sir.
one experience playing at Ole Miss. PC went to Ole Miss
Yep.
my junior year, I think. And I'll never forget, on the way out there, you know, it's a money game for us. We're getting paid whatever the check was. I don't even remember. And so on the way out there, we stopped at like Sanford, did a little walkthrough, and then kind of broke up the trip. We get there, and Ole Miss was using the practice balls because they just knew the backups were going to play so much, and that's what they were used to. And then so we lose or whatever. Ole Miss was like number 2 that year. It was crazy. And then thinking we might break up the trip back home. Nah, we straight shot it overnight. Charter bus. Nah, man.
I remember I went to that game to watch that one. You know, Mom and Dad and I went, and walking through the Grove, that's what it's called, right? The Grove?
Grove.
I mean, that made
Yeah,
me
right.
ready for college. That made me ready for college.
I remember watching that game on ESPN. My brother was at PC, and I remember like taking a picture of him and tweeting it out. I was like, "Oh, dude, it's sick. My brother's on TV. He's on ESPN." But my mom was at that game too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the Grove's special, man. We do before every game, we do a little. We call it the Walk of Champions, and they'll drop us off at the kind of the start of the Grove. We'll walk through, and I mean, it's insane, man. I was all over the place, like, holy cow. Like, we had the Tiger Walk at Clemson, right? And that was cool. And this is a lot more intoxication around you. But
Yeah, I was about to say, it was different when I saw it, like just built different. I mean,
it's cool.
Just
It's
a bunch of
sweet
guys being
spot.
dudes.
That's right. And a lot
Man,
of
you
girls being gals.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. That's right. Southern Bells everywhere. That was my thing with Ole Miss was like, you just walk around and you're like, this is like the epitome of like Southern football. Like, campus is beautiful. The people are good looking. You know, they're having a grand old time. And then, of
What
course,
threw me off is they dress up to go to games here. So
Yeah.
it's like, I was like, you know what? I respect that. Like, it's a cool thing to go to a football game, right? Like, put on your best outfit. Let's do it.
Yeah. Get right
Shoot.
for it, man. It's an event. It's an event, man.
That's right.
Well, shoot,
That's
Sawyer,
right.
you want to kind of run us through your story, man? How'd you end up at Ole Miss? What's kind of the what was kind of the path for you to get to where you're at now?
Yeah, man. So my dad was a longtime high school football coach at Conway High School in South Carolina. He was the head coach there for 36 years. So growing up, that's all I knew. I'd be on the sideline. I was the ball boy for probably longer than I should have been. But, I mean, I loved it, man. I loved going to practice. I loved football. I loved running around, hanging out with the players. So I kind of knew I always wanted to coach. And then when I started playing, getting into high school, it was either a decision like go play some small ball somewhere or get started in coaching. So when Dabo Sweeney was an assistant coach, he recruited my dad's area. So they kind of they formed a relationship. They got tight. And then my senior year, we talked to Dabo and asked if there was an opportunity to be a student assistant. Right when I was coming up, Chad Morris had just got hired. Shout out Chad Morris, Gridiron Ranch right there. Wore the Texas hat for you, Adam. But
Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
But got to Clemson, was a student assistant for 5 years. You know, I like to call it an academic redshirt year. Me and Jack were fighting for our lives in some of those math classes.
Yes, sir.
Adversity, man. Adversity.
So it took me maybe, a little couple extra months, but probably wasn't ready to leave anyways. But so I was there for 5 years, working on the offensive side of the ball, helping out with the wide receivers. Till I got to know Jack, and then I got hired by Billy Napier at Louisiana. So that was my first real job, I guess you would say. Worked with the tight ends at Louisiana for 2 seasons, 2018 and 19. Fast forward to 2020, Jeff Scott, the receiver coach at Clemson, when I was there, got the head job at South Florida. So I moved down to Tampa. I was wide out GA, helped out with the running backs and the tight ends my first year. Charlie Weiss was our offensive coordinator. All right, so everybody taking notes at home, bear with me on this long rant or ramble on here. But Charlie Weiss was our offensive coordinator the first 2 seasons. He gets the job at Ole Miss. All right. Travis Trickett comes in. He's the offensive coordinator the 3rd year. We ended up getting let go. Travis Trickett gets the OC job at Coastal Carolina, hometown.
That's right.
I go home for a year, save some money, live with the parents, get some home-cooked meals. All right. And then 1 year at Coastal, I get reconnected with Coach Weiss. And also Cam Aiken, former Clemson guy. He was here. He kind of helped me out. And then that's where my journey brought me to Oxford. So,
dude,
there we go.
It couldn't have worked out any better for you. You got to go to Tampa, Myrtle Beach. Now you're in beautiful Oxford, Mississippi. You know, it could be way worse.
I tell you what. And I went to Lafayette first, Lafayette, Louisiana. Decent place.
Yeah, that ain't too that ain't too shabby either, man.
Elite food.
Yeah.
In Lafayette. Go to Tampa, elite place in general. Then I come to Oxford, elite people. So I've been around some good environments for sure. So I've been very fortunate, man.
We talked about all your stops. You know, what stands out? You know, we talked about the food in one, the location in another, right? And what would you say really stands out about Mississippi?
It's just different, man. It's a different ballpark. It's a small town with a big college in it. Everybody cares about the college, you know, like it's very similar to Clemson in that respect. But I really would say the people, man, it's just Southern hospitality to a T. Everywhere you go, people want to talk to you no matter who you are, where you work. It's just a great community. The people love each other. They love the athletes here, which is very cool to see. And, you know, I think with anything, the people make it, you know, like no one wants to be in a great place with crap people, but you know, it ain't too hard to be in a crap place with great people. So good thing about Oxford is it's a good place with good people. So it's really a dynamic duo and it's a fun place to be.
Yeah. So you mentioned Chad Morris. I'm telling you, I mean, we had a little bit of a layover, I guess. You know, he left not too long after I got there. But the one thing I remember, man, is that dude cranked Red Bull.
Cranked them, Coach.
Constantly, man. Like, I don't even know how. Like me, I drink a Red Bull, and you know, I'm good or whatever. But this dude had like 4 or 5. Like in the equipment room, there was a special pallet of Red Bull for Coach Morris, and I'm telling you, that thing would just whittle down before you knew it was empty. Every day, just popping it, man. I'd be so jittery. Dude's wild, man. Wow.
Chad Morris is one of a kind. He's definitely one of my mentors. I learned a lot from him at Clemson, but he came back to USF my last year there, and man, we really got close. He really poured into me and gave me a lot of great advice. And one thing I love about Chad Morris is just how he treats people. Like he's been through the ringer, man. Like he's been at some great jobs. He's been at some jobs where it didn't go exactly how he would have wanted it to go, but he stayed resilient. And the one thing that I've noticed that he didn't change is just how he treated people, man. Like everybody loved to be around him. He poured into other people, like whatever wisdom he gained along the way, he shared it with others. And I can't thank that guy enough for just, you know, the stuff he's instilled in me and taught me, and just kind of that servant leadership that he's always had. He's been one guy I definitely look up to in this profession. And I shot a big old hog at his ranch.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'll send y'all a picture of it.
Yeah, for sure. Where's the ranch at? Where it's in Texas?
Yeah, it's like right outside of Dallas.
Close to you.
I think he's from
at
Edgewood, which is like actually not too far east from where I'm at. I'm
Is
pretty
that close
sure.
to Dallas? I think it's somewhere around
Yeah, we're in Forney, so we're like 20 miles east of like downtown Dallas, and I know he's from Edgewood, which is a little further out east. That's where I think he got his original start, but I don't know where the ranch is.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt, man. It's different out here. It runs through your veins, you know. I got asked by somebody like, would you ever go back? Oh, CJ Spiller Clemson guy. He comes to our school because they're recruiting our running back, or they were looking at him, and he asked me if I would ever go back to South Carolina. I'm like, man, I got a lot of love for it, but just it's different out here, man. It's just
Different,
different. I
man.
don't know.
100%.
Yeah, no,
But
dude, we went. So I visited, Adam and my niece and nephews, everybody this past weekend, and he took us kind of around just to see their facilities at the school he's at. And when you say it's different, you're not kidding. Like these high school facilities in Texas are, I mean, college facilities essentially. And I've never
Uh,
it's insane. I mean, the people in Texas, they say everything's bigger in Texas. They ain't lying. They ain't lying one bit.
I'm telling you, I've seen some videos and stuff of them. I've seen a couple of them in person. I mean, it's honestly unbelievable. Like you look at it like, wait a minute, like how,
we yes,
how and why is this so big and nice? But it's pretty cool.
it's I don't know how it got built, how it got paid for, but it's nice to have it. I ain't gonna lie, I guess it's been a couple years now. The year before this past year, we made a pretty deep playoff run, and it was like the third round or whatever. And Coach Kiffin actually came to the game. I'm pretty sure helicoptered in. So as I'm going up in the box, we're passing by kind of the middle level, which is where the VIP section was or whatever. And he was in there and people were talking his head off and stuff like that. But I think he was looking at, I think it was the running back for the other team we were playing at the time or whatever. But yeah, it's just kind of small world that now you're working for him. What's that like working for Coach Kiffin?
I tell you what, man, it is. I didn't really know what to expect coming into it, but it has really been a blast. He's been great to me. There's a lot of aspects in like he is what you think, but there's also a lot that like he ain't what you think either. Like the Twitter stuff and all that, like that's pretty much him. Like he's a really funny guy, just naturally funny. Like if you're around him, you're gonna be laughing regardless, like whether he's making jokes or just being himself. But it's been really good, man. It's one thing I'll say about our whole staff is like coming in the SEC, like it was my first SEC job and didn't really know what to expect. But kind of expected like a lot of egos, a lot of like look out for your own type of deal. And when I got here, man, I was so pleasantly surprised with the staff and just, the camaraderie of the staff and how much fun you can have while getting your work done. And it all starts up top. Like that's just kind of how Coach Kiffin hired everybody. That's kind of how he has it set up. And we just have a really good, environment to work in that makes it fun to come to work every day. I mean, every single day, like there's not a single day since I've been in Oxford where I'm like, gosh dang, man, like we got to go to work today. Just because I know it's going to be, full of joy, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps too, especially like, I can't imagine your guys' work schedule, but when you're staring in the eye of a 18-hour workday or something crazy like that, like you said, if you love what you do, you really don't ever feel like it's work, but no, so yeah, as you're kind of going through your story and stuff, obviously started Clemson, premier program, ACC, South Florida American, right? Coastal Sun Belt, and then you land in the SEC. What's kind of, because everybody always hears, right? SEC, it just means more. What's kind of been the biggest eye-opening thing for you about being an SEC play?
That's a good question, man. I think it's just a week in and week out. Like I was at Clemson at a really good time. Like we had really good players and a really good team, and we won a lot of games. At USF, we didn't win a lot of games. So I've seen all sides of it, but like the week in and week out grind of SEC ball is really probably the thing that's opened my eyes the most. Anybody can truly beat anybody. Like every environment you play in, aside from, maybe a couple, are elite environments, and like the fans are going to show out no matter what SEC team. If it's an SEC game, it's going to be a packed stadium. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hostile. And just that weekly grind of hostility after hostility, whether you're at home or away, you just know you got to bring the A game every single week. If you don't, you ain't going to make it out. And I think that's one thing that's truly different about my 1 year in the SEC, like where I've been before, like at Clemson, where we probably had better players than other teams. We had some games where we could, play our B or C level and still be fortunate enough to come out with a win. Not always, but I think the one thing, this past year in the SEC is we had a really good team. And if you don't play the very best, like you are at risk of getting your tail whooped. So I think that probably is the most eye-opening, being in the SEC.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's kind of what I expected. Like just the week in, week out, like everybody's recruiting the same kind of class of guys, same body type, size, and strength levels, and speed. Of course, speed kills. But on your game day operations, are you on the field guy? Or are you kind of up top?
Yeah. So this past year I was on the field, just kind of trying to help out with, the receiver reps and the rotation, watching on the iPad, because that was a cool little thing. I'd always been jealous. Like my brother's a defensive coordinator at South Florence High School in South Carolina. He does a phenomenal job, but he would always tell me like, yeah, we like came over the sideline and we made this correction. I'm like, dang, dude, like that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
So we had the
it's pretty
iPad
legit.
this year. So that was cool to be able to, watch it after each series and, hey, talk to the receiver, hey, man, like, look at how the corner's playing. He's playing outside leverage and, like, work this type of release or, the different, types of in-game adjustments. That was a really cool part to be able to see it and then apply it and then hopefully see the players execute it. But that was really cool.
Yeah, no doubt. I asked that question to kind of lead into talk about the raucous environments, right? And you're on the sideline. Is there a venue that kind of really stood out? These people get kind of nasty. I got kind of an idea in mind of who it might be, but I wanted to hear it from
South
you.
Carolina.
So, all right. So South Carolina was different. Okay. I was gassing up South Carolina all week. Like I'm just telling y'all, these guys are rowdy. They're going to throw batteries and spit bottles at you and be ready. And then we kind of went in there and we played really good defensively. We had Juice Wells. Okay. And pregame, man, it was like a daggum slaughterhouse. I mean, we were warming up in the student section and they were telling him all kind of things and he's just sitting there laughing. But the one place that really stands out is LSU.
That's what I was thinking.
We played a night game in Baton Rouge and man, it was different. I had never seen anything like it. I've been to a lot of big games in my life, but that one, holy cow, man. There was 100 billion people in the stadium and unfortunately they got us towards the end and it got really, really loud. But
did they play what's the song that they're always trying to get the band to play?
Neck. Yeah, they played Neck.
Yeah.
And the worst part is like we just got beaten overtime. All right. It was a heartbreaker, like just a tough game, tough loss because we led pretty much the whole game. I don't think they didn't have the lead for a single second of game time. They tied it up right at the end of the fourth, and then they won in overtime. So they led for 0 seconds the whole game and won, which is crazy. But it's like, dang, man, like that was a heartbreaker. And I'm like riding on the bus and like all my mind can do is like sing the next song.
Yeah. How does that song go again? What's the lyric?
No, I don't think it's allowed on this podcast.
Yeah, we try to keep it somewhat family friendly. We can tiptoe the line a little bit.
But man, I was like put in my AirPods and like just turn up any song like all the way up to try to get this bull crap out of my head, man. It was haunting me for a couple weeks after.
Dude, I coached in a basketball game like it's been a couple years now, and they're dominant basketball school anyway. It was a close game, and they started playing it. Now, thankfully, the kids weren't hollering out the LSU version, but the band was playing the song. And I'm sure there were some folks in the crowd that were kind of humming along. But I'm sitting there on the bench. I'm like, are they kids about to say this? Like we're in a high school basketball game. But no,
I think they get fined. I think they get fined if they play it. But there's there's 20 million in there. Just get $1 from everybody in the stadium.
Now I'm gonna put you on the spot. All right, you've been on the Clemson sideline before, and you've been on the sideline in the LSU home environment. Which is the real Death Valley? Let's put it into it today. Which one's the real one?
Look, man, I think Clemson and LSU kick it off the season next year.
That's gonna be awesome.
All right, so you're gonna take that game. That one's in Clemson, right?
Yep, I think this year it is. Yeah,
and then the following year it's in LSU. So you'll take the aggregate of the two games, and That'll determine it.
Look at that aggregate. He really is a math ed guy. Look at
Dude,
that,
man, throwing out the big words.
Yeah,
I teach
right.
astronomy. I don't even know what y'all are talking about.
I learned that one in my 5th year. I learned that word in my 5th year.
I might bust out aggregate tomorrow in astronomy class and just see what the students say. Like, Coach Wardlaw, you never use these big words before. But
dude, I heard you talking about like you teaching astronomy. Like I have this weird memory when I was in elementary school. Like, you probably know the word for it, but I can't remember. But it was like they put us in a huge bubble, dude, and they had the constellations like all over the bubble.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah, my last school district had one of those.
But
What did they call those?
Oh, this is awesome.
No, yeah, that's legit. It's kind of like back in elementary school when you did the
parachute.
what's that thing called where you kind of
the
parachute,
baby.
Yeah,
you roll it up.
Yeah. Now we're getting
like
into
a planetarium kind of thing.
Planetarium, that's it.
Planetarium, dude. I knew
Heck
my
yeah.
astronomy knowledge might come in handy.
Dude, the planetarium was sick. I love that thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip that and show that to my high school kids,
Heck
juniors, seniors, because
If
I
you
don't know if
don't
they
know what a
appreciate it as much.
planetarium is, you can't get an offer in college football. Tell them that.
Boom, exactly. That's the first question you ask guys.
But don't tell them I still can't point out the Big Dipper. Just Orion's belt. That's all I know.
That's all right. They've been in astronomy for a year now, and I'm not really sure if they'd be able to do the same thing. So we do a lot of arts and crafts in there.
I'm not way off, am I?
No, it's space, man. It's space.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I try just to lead off with a Uranus joke every single class period.
Got to.
As many Uranus jokes as I can just
I love
pack in. But yeah, I had this one joke.
All right, real quick, and we can get back to football. Is Pluto a planet or no?
It is a dwarf planet or little planet, whatever politically correct term there is now for it. My joke is always it's a midget planet, but then I like correct myself. I'm like, oh, I meant dwarf planet, just to see if any kids are paying. I'll get a few like chuckles, here and there, but I really get them with the Uranus jokes. I hit them with one the other day that was, what's Diddy's favorite planet?
Come on.
So, yeah. So Diddy's favorite planet, Uranus, right? Nobody really laughs. There's a few laughs. A lot of eyebrows get raised. Anyway, so then I said, what's R. Kelly's favorite planet? Uranus, which is the scientifically correct way to say Uranus. But anyways,
dude, these kids.
I think so. I like any kind of documentary or something you watch. It's Uranus. But
welcome to 4th and Ward. We're going to talk about planet.
Yeah, a little side note there. Shoot.
Dude,
anyway,
these
back
kids,
to the recruit.
kids
You
are
talk about the
obsessed with
first.
Diddy. Like, it's absurd how these kids are obsessed with Diddy. And
yeah.
every
They're just slipping into conversation.
No Diddy.
What-
Diddy. Say something.
Yeah,
they'll just
no
say,
Diddy.
No Diddy. No Diddy. Like, what does that even mean, dude?
Oh, that's the new term for. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
No, so when you talk about recruiting guys and stuff, what are some of those first questions you guys kind of ask? You talked about Coach Kiffin and the kind of the culture he sets and things like that. I imagine they try to probe into the types of people that they're recruiting and stuff. What are some things, aside from the football skills that a kid might have, but personality-wise, what are some things you guys look for?
Yeah, I think number one, you just gotta love football, man. Like it is it's a daily grind, it's a weekly grind, especially when you get into the season. But even spring ball in the summer, it's a daily grind. If you don't truly love it, like it's hard to be successful at it. So we always use the term "wired the right way." Like, is the kid wired the right way? Is he gonna come in every day and complain about having meetings, or is he gonna attack the day? So I think. Loving football is one, and then two, is he a competitor? We like to say Coach Kiffin's real tight with Pete Carroll, and he was on the phone one time, and Pete Carroll's like, hey, you're either competing or you're not. And I freaking loved it, man. I was like, dude, that's so awesome. Like, I don't care what you're doing. Like, we're on here right now. Like, I'm trying to make this the best podcast of the night, Like, you're either competing or you're not. Like, so I think it starts with having, a competitiveness to you, loving football, and then just being a good person, man. Like, being someone people want to be around, but having that ability to, hold others accountable, right? But I think those are probably the personality traits. Like, you don't have to be this bubbly guy every day. Like, you don't have to come in doing backflips, but we don't want you to come in there, with slouched over and pissed off at the world, right? So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I think those things are certainly things we look at and, are major factors in if we're going to recruit you or not.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna clip that and show it to some of our football kids, because I'm telling you, that bit about just being competitive, or that competitive spirit in everything you do, want to be the best, do the little things right, do the things that nobody else is willing to do. I think kids need to hear that more, because Some of these kids are just lazy.
100%, man. And I think, you know, it's like if you're in a meeting, right? Like, who's going to take the best notes? I want to see who takes the best notes. Like, we have a basketball goal in our team room, and we freaking play knockout. Like, we play 2-on-2. Like, that's how we start the day off. Like, hey, let's go. Every practice we have starts with a 1-on-1 rep. Every single. So we have like our skill walk, our big walk. The first thing every day, we get a guy, he gets on a megaphone, he calls out an offensive guy, a defensive guy. It's a 1-on-1. Loser has to do bags before first team period. But like that's the like I freaking love it, man. And everything like, and that's how I've been my whole life, like just growing up around football, like I'm trying to beat you. I don't know what we're doing, but I'm trying to beat you. And if I lose, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Yeah.
You know? And like maybe that's a bad thing sometimes, but it's a good thing most of the time.
Absolutely.
But no, that's one thing, man, that I've really tried to hold on to, like even as the coach, right? Like, oh, it's like, oh, you're not even playing. Like, I'm competing though. Might not be playing on Saturday. I'm competing in some aspect. Like, whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to beat you or somebody else in it. But that's the thing, man. I really like in high school, I know it can get. It's kind of like the weed outs, right? It's like your gen ed in college. You're gonna weed some guys out. But the longer you let those cats that are lazy, don't want to do the work, the longer they stay around, the more they going to pull other guys down.
Yep.
So I think, that's the thing that like Coach Kiffin always talks about is like establishing that culture where, and Coach Sweeney used to talk about it too, eliminating the guys that pull people down and get guys that are going to pull the bottom crew up with them. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing we've done here at Ole Miss, and it's been really, really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, no doubt. But we talk about recruiting and all that, getting the right guys in the program. Obviously, transfer portal is a big thing nowadays that you have to recruit as well.
Transfer to the SIP.
Yeah, I was about to say that's something that I know Coach Kiffin's definitely tweeted out and made it known that come on in, things like that. But I imagine you're probably still filtering guys in the portal the same way. Is there any particular question you might ask those guys compared to just a traditional high school recruit?
Yeah. The first question is always like, hey, why are you in the portal? Like you want to find that out. We had a kid one time and say, hey, so like, why'd you get in? He was like, man, the coach didn't do what I want to do. He didn't put in what I wanted to put in. Next, red flag. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's one question that definitely gets asked. And, a lot of times they have a good reason. Sometimes they might not. But after, kind of the initial, why are you leaving? Like, why'd you choose there in the first place? It gets into really the same thing, man. How are they wired? Like, do they truly love football? And a lot of the times it's people moving up for a better opportunity. And, sometimes people just don't fit in places. And they're looking for a new home and they need to be loved on and taken in. And maybe that's the difference for them. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But yeah, man, we're heavy in the portal. They were like that before I got here, and then when I got here, it was really cool for me to see because it was another aspect where I got to learn how to maneuver in the portal. And I think last year, let me think of our starting offense. Okay, we had Louisiana Tech at receiver. Our starting receiver, I'll go Louisiana Tech, Louisville, South Carolina. Our quarterback was a USC.
Mm-hmm.
Our running back was SMU. At O-line, we had Southern Miss, UNC, Washington.
Man.
And then we had like a couple of guys that were recruited here and played really well. But it was, I mean, you think about that, like that's crazy.
Yeah. And were all those guys, and you might not remember off the top of your head, but was it like their first year with y'all or was it like year two, had they been there a little bit? I just wonder what it's like making all that gel, right? And
yeah, so, all right, so that's a good question because to answer your first question is some of them were there for a couple years, others that was their first year. But I was concerned about that too, right? Like when I was at Clemson, it was like, it's the culture, Clemson family. And it was true, man. Like it was truly a family. It was truly a brotherhood. Coach Sweeney did a great job making all that mesh. And then, so I was like, dang, man, like the portal's got to be interesting. And I come here and it's like, okay, well, he's from over there. He's from over there. What do they have in common? They both just got here. So they're going to mesh. All right. Well, now the following year, we got a couple more transfers coming in. Well, the transfers that came the year before love it here so much. They knew what it was like to be a transfer, moving to a new school. So they bring the other guys in. So then now you have like this just great mesh where it still turns into a family atmosphere because everybody respects each other. Everybody loves each other. And they're all coming from very similar backgrounds. You know, like they all have something in common. They're coming from somewhere else. So it ended up meshing really well. And that was cool for me to see too, because before I got here, that was definitely a big question I had. Like, man, this portal is going to kill culture and everybody's going to like, you know, be trying to one up their other teammate. And while they are, right, because we talk about competing every day, at the end of the day, like they're still brothers. And that was cool to see.
Yeah, no, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. I just kind of always wondered, like, what it's like. And then even trying to retain your own roster, too. I imagine that's kind of a new element of that. What's it like recruiting high school, recruiting the portal, while also recruiting your own roster, retaining the guys that you got? How do you guys try to make sure you're giving the guys that you have there, I don't know, you're giving them that pitch to hang around and don't entertain, maybe going and testing other waters?
Yeah, I think it starts with kind of your day in and day out of how you do things, right? Like we make it really fun to play at Ole Miss. Like with the competitions we do, with the things we do outside of football. We have a really good coaching staff. So it's more of like do you like coming to work every day? Like, do you like being an Ole Miss Rebel every single day? And that's with the coaching staff, how the meetings are run, how the practices ran. Coach Kiffin does a really good job of like taking care of people's bodies in the season. Like you'd be surprised at like our practice plan, but the players end up loving it because they're fresher than other teams on Saturday. So instead of like, hey, like sit you down, this is why you need to stay. I think it's more of like a daily task to make it an enjoyable place to be and compete at a high level.
I got you. Good stuff. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Adam, I keep seeing
I'll go
those
for it.
edamame beans in the background. I forgot I had them right here, so I'm waiting some of these. Y'all ever had the only
No,
bean?
go ahead and chow down. Get your protein in.
Heck yeah.
Sawyer, if we can hook you up with some of these edamame beans, buffalo flavored, sriracha, whatever you might be interested in, we can give you a little. We can give you a little collection there.
Shout out the only bean, man. The only bean edamame beans.
Heck yeah.
Shameless plug. But anyway,
I need something seasoning too.
hey, I can hook you up with that for sure. We can make that happen. We can make that happen.
Sir.
We could even we do custom labels and all that. We can make it powder blue. I love you guys. What's your favorite uniform combinations while we're kind of getting into this topic?
Powder blue for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's such a clean look.
The white hat, the powder blue, and the white pants, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
Every time they give us something powder blue, I'm like, let's go. Like,
let's go.
I love
yeah.
it, man.
I gotta get me some come to the sip gear, man. They sell that
Send me your address. Both of y'all send me your address and I'll send y'all some stuff.
Because I'm a Clemson guy through and through, but I will rock some Ole Miss come to the sip gear.
Let's go. I got my brother decked out, man. He's in South Florence repping the strip.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I got him one. It was around Christmas. It just says the sip.
Yeah. That's hard to beat, man.
Yeah, y'all send me the address. I'll send y'all some stuff.
Appreciate it.
Y'all need to come to a game too, man. Y'all got to come back to the sip.
Sign me up.
Don't tell me with a good time, right?
I'm there.
It ought to go way better than the last time I was in Oxford. So.
Well, we got 8 home games this year, so we got plenty of opportunities. Y'all let me know which one y'all want to come to.
Absolutely,
no doubt, man. Oxford ain't a bad drive for me, man. I always, what's the kid's favorite part? What's the player's favorite part about? You talk about small town and stuff, and I don't know, for Clemson, you got the lake and all that nearby. If you had to ask the kids, like, what's their favorite thing to do in Oxford, what do you think they'd say?
Well, that's a good question. Probably go to the square. There's a lot to do on the square, whether good places to eat. They got a frozen yogurt place called Yaya's, man. Holy cow, it's legit.
Y'all killing me, man. I'm just over here starving. Hold on, let me get more of these.
But probably going out. That's where everybody kind of hangs out, especially on the weekends and even weekdays. Bunch of different places to hang out inside and outside. And then a lot of our players, honestly, man, like there's not a ton to do here. So like they really just get to work. Like if they're bored, they'll come to the indoor. We got the you ever seen the Monarch machine? Where
No,
it's
what's
like
that one?
a robot and it just spits balls out and it rotates.
No, that's
Yeah,
pretty legit. So
yeah,
it's not
dude.
a
I
jugs
haven't
machine.
seen
It's
one.
a
It's a jugs machine, but it's a robot and it just poof, and it spins. There's like a sixth thing that just rotates like a revolver.
Jeez.
And like the cool part is you can put like a little button on you and you can do it by yourself. So like you can tap the button and it'll shoot out the six like in a timely manner. It does punts. You can tell it you're running a 40-yard post. You can tell it you're running a 12-yard dig. It's insane.
I think I remember they brought one of those in as like they were sampling it or giving a demo at Clemson. One of my last couple years, I guess. Of course, that's been I don't even know how many years ago.
Yeah,
But
no, I remember that. That was right when they were kind of coming on the scene.
so that's what you're talking about. It's that same thing.
Yeah,
Well, that
the
thing was
same thing. It's
sweet.
really cool, man. I think it gets to I could be off on this, but I'm pretty sure you can catch like 200 balls in 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that is
Which is
legit.
yeah, it's nuts. So like
Oh my
our
god.
Wow.
receivers, man, they get work in. We got a student assistant, and they'll grab him and they'll go shoot jugs for who knows how long, but it's way more efficient and get like the the little assembly line where you catch it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just keeps filtering in and rapid fire. It's pretty cool though.
So yeah, you mentioned you having a student assistant, and I know that was kind of how you got your first break into it all. Is there any lessons you kind of learned when you're kind of going through that grind phase, and then now that you're kind of in a position where a lot of other guys dream about? Is there what's some things that you kind of remember, and you're trying to maybe take care of a guy in this way, or you're doing something a little different in this way, or I don't know, how's it? Now that you're kind of come full circle with it, what's some things that you kind of tie back in or try to bring back, or
Man, I used to always love when somebody bought me lunch.
The
You know what I mean? Like,
little things, man. The little
good or
things.
bad, I'm like, oh heck yeah. Like it usually involved me going to get it, but like at least I was coming back with
Yeah, but you're
something.
like a broke college student, so that's like
Heck
I'll
yeah.
go
So
get it, no problem.
heck yeah, I try to do that when I can. We're pretty fortunate here. We got a cafeteria in the facility. They there a lot of the times, but just treating them the right way. But keeping them on their toes too, right? Like I felt like I was molded by some of that hard love, and um, I feel like at the end of the day, they know like I care about them and I'll help them as much as I can. But I think the one thing I kind of learned as a student assistant that I still try to take with me is, if you're too big to do the small things, you're going to be too small to do the big things. And like whether it's unjamming the printer or whether it's, laminating the call sheet, like if you're too big to do jobs like that, then like whenever you're presented with a big job, like you ain't gonna be capable of doing it because you have like this self-inflation, like this ego. So I think, I'm a product of my environment, right? Like where I've been. So like those student assistant days, man, like I don't take them for granted, like there was so much I learned, throughout more than just football stuff, but how to be a worker, how to treat other people. Yeah, man, I got tons of love for him. I got a major soft spot for him for sure.
so I don't know why this made me think to ask this. Do you have, and feel free to take a moment to make sure it's the right story. Obviously don't want to put anybody on blast, but do you have like a just worst memory ever from your student assistant days? Is there just one kind of moment that sticks out where you're just like, good Lord, like what am I doing? And again, you ain't gotta go throw anybody under the bus or anything like that. But I
No,
just
that's
imagine, because I was there too, like at PC after I stopped playing, like, yeah, I was one of those manager guys, right? And I'm just kind of I'm doing all sorts of stuff. And I'll never forget we were doing a 7-on-7 camp one summer, and they brought me down. I wasn't staying on campus over the summer, but they brought me down. They were going to pay me whatever it was, $75 for 3 16-hour shifts. I just remember like at the butt crack of dawn, like I guess we didn't have trainers on campus that summer or whatever. So I was in charge of filling up the water jugs, and I'm on the gator getting all 4 fields, getting everything. And I just remember going to bed at night. I'm one of the guys that's supervising the dorm rooms with all these high school kids in it. And, it's just a long day. And I can just remember, Yeah, there were some days where it was a grind, but I didn't know
Yeah.
if you'd have a moment similar to that
No,
or
no, I have one that I can think of, and I was very fortunate, man. We had one of my best friends in the world, Jack's roommate for a year, Justin Spiros. He was another guy.
Barrows. Dude, we got to
As
get him
soon as
on next. We got to
No,
get him
dude, man,
on
that's
next.
my guy. He's the director of recruiting at Virginia now. He's pretty much the GM. But him and another guy, Cole McCarter, we were there together. So like throughout the turmoil, like where we were doing self-scout, I remember, man, we were doing self-scout stuff until it just popped up on my like random day on Snapchat, when they send you like the rant. It was 3:55 in the morning and on like a Wednesday, South Carolina week. And we're all like laying out on the floor. We got like 50 different stacks of all of our formations, run pass percentages out of them. But like we had a good group. So like regardless of how bad it was, we made it fun, right? Like I always talk about like feeding the good wolf. And like we always fed the good wolf. Like we always made sure to make the most of it. But one time, bro, we were playing, and I think Jack was on this bus. We were playing Florida State, okay? And we went down to Florida State, and it was an 8:30 kickoff or 8:05 or something like that. And we got beat in overtime. Were you there for this, Jack?
Yeah.
We get beat in overtime, right? Heartbreaker. And we get on that bus, and we drive all the way back to Clemson, South Carolina from Tallahassee, Florida. I mean, it had to be 7-8 hours. I don't remember. But we drove all the way back, right? And I'm laying on the floor like I'm sick as a dog. I'm inhaling bus dust, I got crumbs in my nose, all kind of nasty crap. And we get back and it's like 7 a.m. or something. Like it's something ridiculous. And we put the film in, like we type in all the data and all that crap that we normally did. And we were leaving at like 8. And I remember that because the team and the coaches, they all flew back, right? So they'd been home for a while, and we're leaving at like 8. And Joe Craddock, he was the GA at the time. He was like, y'all good? No. He was like, we'll see you back up here around noon. I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me.
man.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. We just had a heartbreak loss. We rode all the way back on this long trip, sick as a dog because I'm on the floor, and now I'm got to be back up here in 3 or 4 hours. Like, I just need some rest.
It's one of those times where it's like, is there any point in even leaving? Like, just I'll go find a chair to sleep on or something.
100%.
Good Lord.
100%.
You know what my favorite part about road trips was? So like
Cracker Barrel stop.
Oh, I mean the Cracker Barrel stop was elite. I mean that was just you can't beat that. And I'm always talking about food on here. My students give me crap about it all the time. I don't care. But Cracker Barrel's up there. But the excuse, like they gave you that paper excuse to give your professor if you had like a Friday class because you're leaving Friday morning. And I had this one physics class. It was awful. I couldn't even understand the professor. I didn't know what was going on there. But the tests were always on Friday. And so, like, I thought I was slick at the time. He probably saw right through me. But I would turn in the excuse, like, Thursday at noon, like, email him. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I won't be able to make the test tomorrow. And he's like, next time, you just come early and take it. And I would do it again the next week and then the next week. But, like, they couldn't say anything because that excuse had, like, the president's signature on it. Like, what are you going to do, man? Your boss said I'm good.
And then you'd find, like, a buddy in class like, hey, like, what was on the test?
Yeah, right.
I'll flip you a hoodie if you tell me what was on the test.
Man.
No wonder it took me, a little extra victory lap to get that done. But, oh well.
Hey, you made it.
The other sneaky good part of the road trips at Clemson was it the bus driver's wife that used to make she used to make Oreo balls covered in like white chocolate.
Yes.
And then she took 2 Ritz crackers, put peanut butter in the middle, and it was white. It was like a white chocolate hard shell on the outside. Oh my goodness,
man!
So
I good.
Dude, it's like Christmas, man.
It was so good. Game. What was his name? Marion.
We might have. Yeah,
Marion,
that's it.
Shout out Marion with Young Buses? Yeah, shout out Marion. You're the GOAT, man, for real. And your wife.
We might have to bust down 8 hours, but I'm tearing your snacks up.
So Florida State's on the list, right? Roughest trips. Is there any other rough road trips that come to mind?
Let me think here.
Can of worms with that one.
They were all
Did y'all ever have
rough
to make?
before we started flying every time. They were all rough because you had that bus drive no
Yeah.
matter where you're going.
When I was at Louisiana, we played App State, okay? And it was kind of the same deal. Like, we lost a heartbreaker at App State night game. So we're like getting on the bus, everybody's showered up and stuff. And like, we're like, dude, why are we not moving? Like, why is the bus not moving? And our director of football ops like walks on the bus. He's like, guys, we don't have a plane. Time out. I'm like, did he just say we don't have a plane like to fly home on back to Louisiana? He's like, yep, our plane is in Guantanamo Bay. I was like, what?
Sheesh.
I was like, what are we talking about here? So anyways, we ended up having to stay the night in Johnson City, Tennessee. So like, it's like a long night. We lost a heartbreaker. And why it's always a heartbreaking loss, right?
Always,
like you
man.
win the game, it's all cool.
Yeah.
Like
God's got a sense of humor, you know.
I tell you what, man. And we lost the game. We end up like busting to Johnson City. We had to separate in like 4 different hotels because like who has 200 hotel rooms, the night of.
Ugh.
But golly, man, that was another little nightmare.
Dude,
That is rough.
There was one, I don't know if you were still there, Sawyer. Well, yeah, I guess you would have been. It was the MTV bus. That's what we called the bus that he's referring to that we rode on, the MTV bus, because it had, managers, trainers, video staff, and then like he said, essays, like Sparrows and Sawyer would ride with us. But there was an away game where we get to the airport, everything's going great. We start driving, and, it's like a convoy of 4 buses, and you got, an escort out front. Well, out of nowhere, our bus just starts creeping over to the side of the interstate. And I'm like, all right, this is weird. What's going on here? Turns out, out of all the buses we had, the MTV bus was broken down on the side of the interstate. And it was the one day where we were going to get there and actually have some time to just relax before we had to do stuff. But no, we sat there for like 2 hours.
Heck no.
Just waiting.
Heck no.
Waiting. It's terrible, man. God.
Good Lord. Did y'all have to bus up to Syracuse? Did y'all ever make an away trip to Syracuse while y'all were at Clemson? I just imagine that's whether.
We flew.
Yeah, that was a flight.
I don't know what got into me, man, but one time I grew a pair and I walked into Coach Sweeney's office and I was like, hey, we were playing Miami. And like some trips there just wasn't a bus, like the MTV bus just couldn't go too far. Right. So like you would have to cut your numbers down. And this is like year 2 or 3. So like I'd been there for a little bit and like I had a game day role. So like I wanted to do my job, right? Like I would be in the box and I would write down offensive play so we could get it typed into the film and all that. So I don't know why, but I was like, Coach, like, is there any way we can fly? Like, I have to do my job. Like, I can't afford to like just book my own flight to Miami. And for some reason, he was like, yeah, sure. Then like, so part of me was like, dang, this is sick. But the other part of me was like, wait, is this easy the whole time?
We could have been doing this all the time.
So we fly down, we play Miami at noon. And I mean, we beat them to a pulp. We beat them like 58-0.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
That's when they fired Al Golden after that, right?
Yeah,
Was that game?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, actually, I think it was. So, like, we get back on the plane, and, he's got the front seat, like, first class, extra leg room. He's like, well, Sawyer, we might have to just bring you to every game. I was like, all right.
Sign me up.
Like,
Say less.
put me on the plane, baby. Come on.
Well, I mean, you could have
Say
used it.
less.
Didn't you? Because you actually introduced me into Kathleen to help, tutor one of their sons, and so you could have used that as leverage, man, and be like, hey, if you want that geometry grade to get up now, I need a first class ticket. All right.
I tell you what, I had enough leverage because I'd go teach him geometry or algebra, and they would pay me way beyond what I taught that cat. Shout out Coach Sweeney. He was really smart, but he kind of like played it off that he wasn't. But he would do really well on the test, so it made me look good.
Well, and then I don't know where you might have moved on, and I think they were looking for another tutor, and you gave him my name, and so I did it a few times. And you're right, the dude, he didn't need my help, but I had no problem. I was rolling up Coach Sweeney's house, that new house they built. I'm just like, all right, man.
Yep.
And Kathleen, great woman. She always took care of you. But
No question.
yeah,
Sweetest lady on the planet.
Absolutely. But he didn't need no geometry help.
Algebra and then go shoot some threes in his basketball court in the backyard.
Hey, that's perks, job perks right there.
I swear.
I just remember when I was coaching at BHP, obviously we played Daniel, which is, where every coach's kid goes through school. The Venable boys went through there. All the Sweeney kids went through there. And it just never failed, like, whether it was a Thursday or Friday night. Thursday nights were usually the worst because, like, obviously they're going to be one of the better ones on the field in a JV football game at the 3A level or whatever. And you're just like, please don't let a Sweeney, like, catch a touchdown pass on us. Or oh, man. But no, they seem like great people. They seem like they practice what they preach, right? And so that's what I always appreciate.
100%, man. Yeah.
I always appreciate that about him.
He gets a lot of hate outside because some people can't fathom that, like, that's actually how he is. Like, whatever you see in an interview on TV, like, that is exactly how he is every day, inside the facility, outside the facility. Like, and I mean, I'm forever indebted to him for giving me the opportunity to be at Clemson. Or I wouldn't be where I am now. It all works out in the Lord's plan. Is pretty cool. Like, when I tell you my journey, I'm like, dang, it just took like 5 minutes, but like, it's all part of the process, man. It's cool.
Hey, yeah, God's got a plan for everybody, right? And that's just all a part of it.
I think it's good for kids to hear your story because coming out of high school, you had options to play ball somewhere smaller, but that wasn't what you chose to do. You wanted to go to the big state school and start working, and some kids wouldn't do that. They would see that as like, oh, I'm not playing, I'm not doing that. It ain't worth it. But now they can see what that can lead to if you put in the effort. You know what I mean? So I think it's great to kind of hear your story and how it worked out for you. But question for you. I ask everybody this. So you mentioned his disgusting double cucumber Gatorade, whatever, pickle juice.
Take me a swallow right now.
So first, if you're describing a Gatorade to somebody, how do you describe it? Do you go flavor name or color?
Flavor name.
I like it.
Really?
I like
Interesting.
it.
Yeah. Interesting.
I like it.
He knows ball.
There's like 2 different blues, right? You got Glacier Freeze. You got Cool.
Exactly.
Like lemon lime. Is it yellow? Is it green? We don't really know. So like, it's just lemon lime. Orange is orange.
So what's your favorite?
Okay. So I knew you were going to ask this. I haven't drank a Gatorade in like 8 to 10 months.
Really? Why? Are y'all Powerade school?
No, we have Gatorades everywhere. Okay. This is so dumb. All right. I saw a Facebook video. Lord, it was like, this is how Gatorades are made. And it's like pouring like some kind of like syrup in it. It's dumping sugar in it. It's
the good stuff.
And the way that it sat on the video, I'm like, and the dude could be completely making it up. I got no idea.
Hey, it's on Facebook. It's got to be true.
Yeah, Facebook's automatic truth.
I'm like, holy cow! Like, but I'll go drink a Sprite. I'll go drink a sweet tea. So it really don't make no sense. When I did drink Gatorade, I used to take the Glacier Freeze, okay, the light blue, and the lemon lime. I drink half of each, and I pour them in the same one, and I make it like a fluorescent green.
That's almost like a blueberry lemonade kind of thing going on.
That's an interesting mix.
It was legit.
All right, I'll have to try it. All
right, my sleeper pick, the Gatorade Rain, the purple one.
They were like a lighter color, right? They were kind of see-through or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, like, that's a throwback.
It felt like you were like getting real hydrated and like, you know what I mean?
Okay, that's a good one.
Dude, I'm all about the, I've obviously mentioned I cut mine with the pickle juice, right? I kind of like
that move, man. I could drink pickle juice by the jar.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you, you go to the grocery store and you get the gallon jug of it.
Y'all are crazy, man.
Sometimes I'll just pickle juice, ice, water, and I'm just housing it in like my water jug. Kids in class are like, what do you got in there? And I'm thinking they're going to say water or whatever. I'm like, just pickle juice, pickle juice and ice. And they just give me the most disgusting. I'm telling you, like, it gets your mind right,
I love it. I like that.
I will not try it ever.
You want to know another sleeper pick? Do y'all remember the Tiger Woods Gatorades?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
had like a weird bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I forgot about those.
He had a red one. It wasn't fruit punch, but it was like something else. And like I remember every day where I went to middle school, there was a BP like right across the street, and that's where like no one went to the car rider line. Like your parents just picked you up at BP. Like that's just how it was. And I would get the Tiger Woods Gatorade like every day. In a whatchamacallit. You know,
The candy bar?
The candy bar?
Candy
Yeah.
bar, man,
Yeah.
the whatchamacallit.
All right, so top tier Gatorade shape is going to be the squeeze with, that's got the twist orange
Grip
top
on the
on it,
squeeze.
the grip and the
Yep.
squeeze
Yeah.
top. I wish they
Yep.
should all come with that standard. I don't know why they do regular caps. It's stupid. But
100%.
anyway,
I just remember.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I just remember in terms of bottle shape, like the stubby bottles. I don't know the fat bottles.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they make them
The
anymore.
2 for $3.
But it was always 2 for $3. That's what I was about to
Yeah.
say. You go down. I could get my fierce melon. It was before the lime cucumber. I'd get fierce melon, fierce strawberry, 2 for $3.
You gotta turn it upside down for it to fit in any cup holder ever.
Yeah. That was the one flaw. That might be why they don't make them anymore.
Always 2 for $3. That's so true. And it was always cool blue for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, it was always like it's 2 for $3, but like you only can get cool blue. We just got
most of the product. Yeah.
we got 60 cool blues, and then all the other flavors are in like normal bottles.
Yeah, we added a 0 on the order. We didn't mean to get that many, but all right. So you're a math guy back, math education.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So I've been asking my kids this one. Well, they have they get real heated about this. Does a straw, just a regular straw, have 1 or 2 holes?
Oof. Okay.
Thinking.
It's a great question. I've had this argument before, and I'm pretty sure like I've argued both sides, depending on what the other person's take is. It's got to have.
I'm a 1 hole. I think it has 1 hole.
I was about to say, man, like, no, it's got 2 holes.
All right, why?
It's got 2 holes. Because if you take a straw,
yeah,
all right, and you singe the bottom together, you're closing a hole.
Okay.
Does it still have 1 hole?
To me, yeah.
On the top? But you're closing a hole, and it has 1 hole, so mathematically speaking, you got 1 hole. If you add the other hole back, that's 2 holes.
Math checks out.
Okay. That's the best reasoning I've heard today.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
The best I've gotten from a kid today was, no, it's got 2 holes. I'm like, why? And they go, because it's got 2 holes, 1 on each end. I'm like, okay, but why? Like, what? I'm still a 1 hole guy, but whatever. I just think it's 1 continuous hole through.
At least, go for it. No, I was just gonna say the kid probably used ChatGPT to figure out his rationale. Like, I feel like that's their go-to now.
Dude, ChatGPT is like stock way up in the Ole Miss football facility right now. So every day, like something goes down, right? So we ChatGPT a picture of the day. So we have a board. We have a board up here, and it's the ChatGPT picture of the day. So like if we have a staff meeting and something funny happens, like somebody will get on and like type up a prompt, and it'll print something out, and it's like always funny.
So is that the secret to Coach Kiffin's humor? I mean, his funny tweets. Does he ChatGPT? You heard it here first.
He hasn't really discovered ChatGPT yet. Like he's still old school in a lot of ways. Charlie Weiss is our offensive coordinator. He's like 31 years old. He's a freaking genius. He like we start like we always have ChatGPT breaks, and we'll give it. We the other day. And we might have to go, but I'm just gonna keep talking till y'all shut me up. But
I'm good all night, man.
If you're listening to this in your car, throw that thing on 2x, baby, and ride with it. But, we did a prompt where it was like, I'm a player and I want to enter the transfer portal. I have no film and I have no snaps, but I want the most money I can get. Like, what should I tell a coach? And it printed out this whole thing, and then we were like, okay, now be the coach, and how would you combat this? And then, so me and this other dude, like, it printed out kind of like a movie script, like a dialogue.
Yeah.
So me and this other dude, like, acted it out, like, who would win, the player or the coach. But that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, man, we have a good time around here. Like, we get our work done, but we have a good time doing it.
I
No,
might
that
do
sounds
that.
awesome, dude.
I'm so hardcore ChatGPT. I have the app downloaded on my computer. Like it's just ready to roll whenever I
Heck
need it.
yeah.
Ooh, that's like getting married, man.
It's in my work folder on my apps.
Yeah, it's
My,
ready to go.
I love it.
It's hilarious, man.
Shoot.
I broke my hand. I had surgery like a little bit ago, like 4 weeks ago. We're getting back right.
There you
But I
go.
was like, hey, hook me up a workout like where I can't use my hand. And spits it out.
Spit it out.
It's freaking
God,
crazy.
No, I remember
I don't know
they
how y'all are
blocked it.
teachers with it, by the way. Like that I don't know how in the world.
I'm health and PE, so we're not really on the computer too much anyway.
Okay,
So,
that's fair.
you know,
Yeah. Astronomy, we don't write too many essays, but do a lot of projects, arts and crafts and stuff like that. So you can't really use the computer.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can ask it what you want it to draw a picture of, but that's about it, you know.
I know a college professor hates to see a ChatGPT essay
It's-
come.
ChatGPT is going to have so many bachelor's degrees from all the people.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
No, I saw this the other day. Somebody was like, they were like, our next generation's screwed. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, they're all learning through ChatGPT. They're not really learning. I was
That's
like,
true.
that's actually scary to think about.
Yeah. No, and what's crazy is now, not only is there ChatGPT, but you know, when we were in school, turnitin.com or Turnitin was your main concern. You didn't want to get, hit with plagiarism. Well, now
yeah.
it's like they have AI detectors. And so if you're one of my kids, you're not hearing this right now. You did not hear this from Coach Wardlaw, but now there's ChatGPT spits out whatever, right? Now there's another website that makes it sound more human so it doesn't get caught in a plagiarism or an AI detector.
That's crazy.
And I'm like,
good.
this is so like, by that point, just write the paper. Like you're doing so much work.
That's crazy though.
I read something the other day that like they're having to like make adjustments to the computer or whatever runs ChatGPT because the more that it's interacting with people, like the dumber ChatGPT is getting. So like they have to keep going back and like doing these software fixes or whatever.
It's like,
And they
all right,
said,
anything that guy said, just disregard.
I wonder if they could like narrow it down by the zip code. Like I just think about like there are some parts of this country that, yeah, they got to be weighing down the ChatGPT.
If you could like yik yak ChatGPT and just like see like close to where you are, what people are searching on ChatGPT.
Dude, I would love that's $1 million idea. We got to go in on that.
Yeah, we got to
All
cut
right,
that.
that's why they banned me because the other day I typed in how fast would an ant have to travel to kill a human? Just because like I thought of it,
Like a bullet, like it'd have to torpedo
yeah,
through
like
somebody.
if an ant like how fast would it have to go to kill a human? But
What was the answer?
it can't.
Oh, it
Yeah,
can't.
what did it say?
It would have to go fast enough, but it would like where it would already have burned up or something.
Wow.
God dang.
Yeah,
Man.
dadgum
Things
friction.
you didn't think ants had to worry about.
Right.
Man.
So yeah, I would definitely get banned. They'd be like, all right, yeah, this is one of those dumb ones.
Yeah, cut that one out.
Dang. Nah, but I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I know, of course, you're in my time zone, so it's not as late as Jack here. But if anybody's watching at this point in the recording and they wanted to follow along with you, do you have any social pages or anything like that you want to plug so that people can reach out to you or be able to keep up
man,
with you and Ole Miss?
I'm on X and Instagram. It's Coach S Jordan, so you can hit me on there. That's about it. I don't have a public TikTok, but and I got Facebook, but that's only for the Conway people. So
I got you. Yeah,
Coach S Jordan on X and Instagram. We try to stay kind of up to date with everything. So
I'm curious.
Man,
I'm curious how much on a, this is the last one I'll let you go, but like on a random day, average day, whatever. Like, what do your DMs look like? You got a lot of people do you have it turned off to where people you don't follow can't message you or?
I don't. I have a lot of message requests.
Yeah.
I can just see so many huddle highlight links just in your DMs nonstop.
It's so many, and like some days I'll go and watch them, and some days I ain't got it in me.
So, so for an aspiring college football player, what would you say is the best way for them to get seen or recognized, whatever?
I think the best way is camps, like summer camps, where like the coaches can watch you face to face, and like the Twitter stuff doesn't hurt, right? Like it helps for some people, but like if a coach can see you in person competing against somebody else, they can see your movement skills, they can see, for us, like ball tracking ability, like can you high point the ball, Can you get in and out of breaks? Because usually, like, you know, if you're the best receiver on a high school team, like your highlight tape is going to be post routes and go balls.
Yeah.
You're just going to be scoring touchdowns.
Just burning
like,
terrible corners, just running
like,
right by.
You ain't gonna run a hitch most of the time, or you know, like you aren't gonna run a 12-yard dig. We'll just take the top off. But no, I think getting in front of the coaches in camps and stuff like that stuff is very beneficial because the coaches got no chance but to watch you. You know what I mean? Like you can see a highlight link, it might not get watched,
Right.
but they gotta watch you in person.
That's awesome, man.
No doubt. I love it. Well, shoot, I guess it's about time for me to wrap it up, guys. I appreciate y'all watching this episode of 4th and Ward. Be sure to drop us a 5-star review. Be sure you're subscribed, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to your podcast. Sawyer, thank you again for joining us tonight. Jack, hope we didn't keep you up too late tonight.
No, I'm up all night. Sawyer, man, it's good to talk to you, man. Hey, go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Heck yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, and let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, go to the SIP, baby.
Oh, we're always down. We're always down.
That's right.
Come to the SIP.
Y'all come to Oxford. If I send y'all some gear, y'all have to come to a game. That's just how it works.
I'm done. I'm ready right now. If y'all play tomorrow,
Say less. Say less. Say less.